All right. So, hello, everyone, and welcome to another expert session number 84. Another week, another expert session. Amazing. 84 weeks, almost in a row. And today's session is going to be a different session. It's going to be an Emma session where Gustavo and I are going to be sharing some of our learnings of building an international senior community, collective, really, with people from 47 markets currently. Our mistakes, what we've learned along the way. Our process for building Evolve. I think the vetting process, what we discovered there, and what we are planning also for 2026. Of course, how we're monetizing the community and some of the things that we discovered in the monetization process as well. So, Gustavo, perhaps you want to just to give a high level introduction of yourself, and we have people on LinkedIn watching this as well. So, who are you? Just a high level overview. Then I'll introduce myself as well.
Great. So very good to be here again, another week. And so I'm Gustavo, Brazilian, based in Berlin. I've been running partnerships, I think, basically for my whole life. I started my career actually as an entrepreneur just after intern. And yes, just after some time, I moved to the technology sector environment. And since the last 8 years, I've been running partnerships in the e-commerce ecosystem, basically connecting e-commerce vendors with solutions partners and all across, but mostly connecting e-commerce platforms with payment providers in Brazil and then globally. And basically 4 years ago, I moved to Germany with my wife. Here I am. And since almost 2 years now, I met Carlos. We were building, starting to build the Evolve community. And and here we are, almost 2 years later. So this is me and what I've been doing.
Brilliant, Gustavo. Thanks. Well, myself, I'm Carlos. Been in Denmark for 12 years, a little over a decade now. Moved here because I used to work for the Danish government many years ago, and there I met my ex-wife, have 2 kids, moved to Denmark. And moved here without knowing anybody. So back then I had a blog called denmarkbrazil.com. The idea of the blog is really to position myself as an interesting immigrant so I could find a job. Didn't really find a job, but then the blog was really what positioned me. The blog plus LinkedIn, I'd say, and how I was positioning myself as the Brazilian expert. It helped me a lot to start my company. So companies were looking after my services, and they were approaching me to help them initially. That was many years ago, to help them with business development in Brazil. And later, I started getting more involved in the e-commerce space, helping vendors to go to Brazil and later enter new markets. And so I think a lot of what we're going to talk about today has to do with relationships, with international relationships, with how you build relationships in new markets and how powerful that is. And so I'd like to start this session today with how it all started. It all started Evolve, and I'll share just maybe a high-level overview here. Evolve started in my mind back in 2017 while I was doing the international expansion of a company called VTEX, which is a well-known e-commerce platform. Back then, I was working directly with the co-founder, one of the co-founders of VTEX. And we were very successful in Romania. Romania, I'd say Central and Eastern Europe, but Romania was a bit of an outlier there. Whenever I was going to Romania, instead of pitching my client, what I was doing was that I was interviewing, let's say, local reference voices. So owner of events and people of influence in that market. So I would go there, would invite them for an interview, And when I was doing those interviews, I would say, "Hey, this is Carlos with Evolve." And the reason why I started using the term evolve was because I thought that there was such a disconnect, Gustavo, between sales and marketing, because everything I was doing was about connecting with people and talking a little bit about where I came from and the opportunity that there was in Latin America and so on, that I could potentially help them to go to Latin America, and then eventually talk about VTEX. They would get interested and they would say, "Oh, okay, what is VTEX, by the way?" But it was never about VTEX. It was never about the company. It was always about the people uh, in that market, and they would open doors. They would be interested in understanding more about what I was doing because I was offering something. So that's how it all started. And this something that I was offering was just an interview, just a stage, so to speak. So that was the beginning of everything, and it's great. I'm at the Squash Center. There's a lot of kids that are about to come into the center. So uh, internet problems at home. So that's how it all started. And Gustavo, I think, what are your perhaps learnings from this period since you joined Evolve? Um, you know, um, some of I like you to comment on the mistakes we made. Because there were quite a bit. You started as a volunteer. Was quite fun in the beginning. We had no structure for the sessions. The session would last 2 hours, remember? And
Yeah.
then go ahead. What did you learn? What are some of the mistakes you've learned along this way?
Well, some mistakes we had. I believe some of the like um, those first sessions where we because uh, maybe from that beginning is that uh, the intention was always to connect people and help people build relationships. And I think that at that moment, in the beginning, those sessions were so long because the intention was to uh, let everyone talk and present themselves and like I don't know looking back now it's like it could look like, oh, this is like the only opportunity that these people will have to interact between each other. And what I think in my opinion what we have learned is that the connections are there. Our intention is still is uh, what uh, to build connections, to help people build a relationship, but that comes in a proper time and in a proper period, aligned with both sides. So we have a lot of people in our community that we see that they are a very good match, but sometimes, and because we are in contact with them all the time, it's not the correct time for them to connect, even though we know that's a good match. But sometimes you're talking with someone, oh he's busy because he's in a investment round, so uh, it's not the right time to present him to someone that's not connected with what he's doing at that moment in that quarter, let's say. And I think this is one thing. So we have started to have first more structure to our sessions. People can join the session and understand, and we have built like a framework for our sessions. We have the pre-session warm up where we can uh, 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 give this moment of networking, of people talking and knowing each other, and we have the session with a more structured way, with basically a framework that we have, and the connections that goes around offline, let's say, the the sessions, not around the sessions. And this basically, I think, was one of the biggest learnings, is that knowing the right time to connect to two persons, two people. Yes, for me, this was one of them. I have a lot, but since you mentioned the first sessions, I think this is one that's very uh, valuable to say. And another one is another. It's not a mistake, but it's a learning that is having a a day for us. So it can be one, it can be ever, it could be every day, but having a day and a time for us, that also helps people to remember and to book in their agendas, and to always say, oh, okay, Thursday 1 p.m. CT is like evolve time, let's say, something like that.
Yeah, I
And
think
yeah, and
to
that, yeah,
go
I
ahead.
would like to ask you the same. So what's maybe the and yeah, maybe the biggest mistake we did, or what's the
Yeah.
biggest mistake we have learned from?
Yeah, I don't think there was one mistake, but it's more like a what do you say in English? Like a series of things that happened that we had an idea first, right? We had a, let's say, more like a thesis on how we saw the world, and what we thought had to be different. So, for example, we were building for if I don't know if you guys in the audience know, but there's a couple communities for go to market, a community called Pavilion. There's another network that we used to look at, and we thought, well, I think that there should be a community for perhaps go to market and international partnerships in the world of commerce in a more systemic way. So uh, that was the first thesis, right? So we were building Evolve with that idea, and everything that I think we were doing was towards that thesis and premise. Let's put it this way. Uh, and I think that is true, but it didn't give us clarity, because when you focus on companies, it's different than when you focus on an individual, especially specifically when they're in a career transition. So I think I think we kind of like we bashed our heads a lot against the wall in the beginning, thinking that we were gonna build something for companies, but we started realizing that the profile of people that were interested in joining our network, they were more like professionals in a career transition. So those who typically uh, had been at the highest levels in an organization, and they were now in a career transition, meaning they're going to be first-time fractional consultants. They wanted to expand their board portfolio. We have in the private club today multiple solopreneurs or small entrepreneurs, but they all come from somehow the world of commerce. So I think what we got right uh, is to have some kind of ecosystem that we wanted to play in, which is commerce. And we can always say it's not niched enough, but we never wanted to be that niched. That also made it harder for us to have more clarity about what we were what were we building for, and who were we building for. So it took us time to understand our um, ideal profile. So I think it's very clear today that we are building, and that's the thesis, and that's what we are always repeating ourselves, is that we are building a community of senior professionals, typically in a career transition. So we're building a community for them. So once we started having clarity about that, then I think everything else started to change as well. And then now we see the companies approaching us because it makes sense how we are connecting the dots and how we we figure, and we're still figuring how we can connect the dots and create acceleration for companies. But I think the big shift was to focus on a specific profile. You know, typically people in a career transition, or consultants, or people who want to be board members and so on. So senior people. I think that was the key. So the mistake, just to say, if that was the key, the mistake was not focusing on people first and trying to approach companies. Because we were trying to approach companies. Companies typically, they want to know what's the ROI that they're gonna have if they invest in you. And in a community, you can't really prove, that if I connect Gustavo with, for example, Lara, they're gonna have an immediate ROI. It's not how things work, right? So that's what I would say. It's my biggest learning is like, focus on. We should have focused on people from the beginning instead of trying to chase companies. And I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm just saying our learning, right, and how things evolved. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah, yeah, I think it's more or less like how how we envision uh, the community to behave, the community to exist, because there are gonna have a community that's more focused on companies and but it's I believe that the the behavior and the way we see the community growing, and how we want people to interact, how we want people to have a relationship, and how we see uh, the world, and our view on international expansion and everything else is uh, is different. So that's what made sense for us at that point. And and yes, but and also connecting with the point you brought, so like companies, they need to see the ROI and etc. That's for me something that is an interesting view nowadays, because as you saw it, and as we can see it, just growing communities and B2B communities and all of that is this is growing. People want to connect more with correlates, with people that are envisioning the same things, that want the same things, and brands want to build communities, and B2B companies, they want to build communities, or they want to participate in communities. But on the same hand, the community play the way you must behave within a community if you want to drive business. It's also different. So uh, it's it's another way to play the game, let's say, because if you join a community, oh, I want to have the ROI, I want to have the leads, I want to have that's that's no difference from going to the market and making cold emails, cold calls, and whatever. So you're not using actually the power of the community, or the advantage that you can use from the community, because the community, I wouldn't say that's the opposite, uh, but it's a different way, and there's another path to reach. If you're looking at company, right, a company looking at a community, uh, it's a different path to reach the leads that you want at the end of the day, or to reach a result that you want when you're joining that community, if that makes sense for your company. Uh, but it's not the same path as mm, just making cold calls, cold messages, and cold emails. This is something. It's something different. You need to participate. You need to be there. You need to be present. You need to share. You need to help people, yeah, and to lend a hand for sometimes for a lot of people that are asking, and yeah, so this is
I
this is
think, yeah, I'm
what I
taking,
think about. Yeah.
while Gustavo is speaking, I'm also writing things I remember for everyone in the chat. But you know, I think, and correlated to with everything you're sharing, Gustavo, I think was really cool that during the process we didn't have a process. So, for example, a process to people would say, okay, I'm interested in being part of the Evolve Commerce Club. What is the Evolve Commerce Club? So typically we would just get people and say, okay, join our WhatsApp group. That's on me. I'm guilty of that. And Gustavo would be really annoyed at me with reason because we didn't have the data of people who were joining the community. They were simply saying, okay, we're just adding them to a group. Um, as we progressed and as we understood that senior people, typically former VPs, independent consultants, but people that valued international, the international aspect as well, that they wanted to expand their networks, we started debating a lot, in a good way, like how can we qualify people to join our community. And that's when we implemented over a year ago a vetting process, which we thought we were a bit afraid of implementing this vetting process, which means that people need um, to fill out a form and then go through a call with us. Um, and yes, Gustavo, just so you know, uh, this bullet points that I'm kind of following, it's in the announcements that I shared today. So I'm kind of going through that just so you know. uh, the vetting process that we implemented was key to have clarity about who's joining the community, what people value. We started noticing that there was a pattern. Network expansion. Yes, everybody wants clients, but partnerships as well. Network acceleration. We learned actually that having clients is not necessarily the first thing that people value, but being part of a community where they can learn from others, so they value learning as well. And creating the form, I think, was instrumental, I would say. And one of the things that was key for us to really have the understanding about our ideal member profile, but also how to monetize what we were doing, because initially, again, we were doing multiple things. We were juggling with several actions. So expert session was one of them. But Gustavo and I, we also tried something which were like digital roundtables. We would invite people every third week or so. They would we did that maybe 4 times, right, Gustavo? It was like kind of like a nice to have. People would join in. They could network for 5 minutes and then they would switch tables. But that was just a lot of work without necessarily having impact. And we have done a lot of those things without having the data of who was joining the club, who were our ideal member profiles. And so um, I think when we decided to implement the form, the qualification form, and that required courage, it kind of like slowed us down, but it also granted us acceleration in the sense that now we have clarity of who's joining the club and what do they want. So, and that leads us to the next step, which is for example, we have a few people joining today, and we could see an uptick in the participation in the expert sessions, right? Like people joining more the expert sessions because we are doing the connections, we're helping them network once they join the club and so on. So I would say that another mistake was not having a qualification form earlier, but that mistake granted us a major learning, which is understanding who wants to join our club and what we started offering them. I don't know. Those are some of the things.
Yes, it's the yeah, it's the like a basic qualification process. Because yeah, so just getting everyone and this is something that's 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 different. So because at the beginning, not now, but at the beginning, people were saying, okay, so we have a community, and people said, okay, so you have a WhatsApp group, and we always wanted to set us really apart. It's not just a WhatsApp group where we are putting some people together to talk about whatever, uh, but it's it's a community. We have the WhatsApp group, yes, but we have our sessions. We have the work with it behind it. So to build the matchmakings, to connect people, to have events that we have, to have everything else. So because it's just a matter of putting people on the WhatsApp group, that's okay. But if we want and that's one thing because it's also okay. So we just want to put some good people on a WhatsApp group, and they don't have any like intention besides having those people together, and uh, that's okay. But our intention always was to connect people and to help these connections to be meaningful. So for that, we needed to know, we need even today to know who's joining, what's their objectives, what's their challenges, what they want to accomplish, what they need to accomplish, what's the barriers they are bearing for accomplishing their objectives. What's their challenges? They're moving countries. They're in a new job. They're what people are doing, and what people wants to achieve. So we can help them. So we can see, oh, okay, so you're passing through this challenge. We have someone that has passed this challenge, or we have someone that's passing through the same challenge, or we have someone that can help you, and that can help you with that specific challenge. And then we can help people to create a real connection, right? A real relation, to start a real relationship. Yeah, so it's and also at the end of the day, we can just create a sparkle. At the end of the day, we can just put two people together on the same table, on the same call, and yes, we are we can do a lot, but we end when two people are sitting in front of each other, even online or in person, and they start talking. So this is the other side that we want also to develop for the next years and next moments for Evolve. Is like, how can we help people to be more prepared for those situations?
Brilliant. Gustavo, I think one big topic, and let's please invite everyone. It's almost 30 minutes now to join us on stage, but a big topic, maybe just to address what we typically answer, is how we started monetizing the community. And I think to monetize the community, we also needed courage. I would start there because we were working a lot. We were working like crazy. And some folks in our community, they were saying, hey guys, are you not going to make money off it? Because we pay for communities. So we started, you know, you could say imposter syndrome. We were afraid that this people wouldn't necessarily value what we were doing. Because in the end, we're not selling something palpable, right? We're selling trust. We're connecting people. We're doing events, and those are things that we started to stack. Create other offerings, but it's trust. So it's a trust based network that we are selling, and people they were approaching people that we really like and trust, and I believe it's mutual. They were saying, hey guys, why are you not charging anything? I pay for networks. I pay 10 grand, 6K per year. So we were looking at it, and we were talking to a couple members in our community. We did a survey on what exactly they got from other networks and how it worked. And we started, so Gustavo and I had several conversations about it. And I think it was in January, right, Gustavo, that we decided to create our paid plan specifically for senior professionals, typically in a career transition. Occasionally, we still see that people, if they work for a company, they also want to join us, but we learned also that we have to be crystal clear with them that there is a difference. The paid club is for professionals who are looking for a group so they can have support and accountability, and there's specific offering there. And if they want to have something for their company and to have company acceleration and events, well, then we have another offering. And that's also another learning, right, Gustavo? That throughout the process, we discovered that, you're not, a community can be a place also where lead generation can happen, but it's not the purpose. The purpose is, we're here to support each other. We are here to help you accelerate your time to network in Brazil or in Germany, or within a certain ecosystem. And maybe you're gonna also have business opportunities, and if it makes sense, but it's not the purpose. And I think a lot of people, they especially, I wouldn't say if they're more junior. That this has not to do with their seniority, but maybe with their profile. I think it's more like, they want to take advantage of the community to generate leads, but it's not the main purpose of Evolve. Leads, you can create business opportunities, and so I think what we learned in that process is this for your business? Is this for you as an individual? Because here as an individual, you're gonna learn from others. You're gonna have access to an expert session. We're also going to invite you for an expert session, which is our digital stage. We have one session a month, which people who are here, they know what we're talking about. I always say in a funny manner that it's like AA for business. You can share. The
Yeah.
sessions are not recorded. And the other thing, the offerings that we created for companies, right? So massive learning there as well.
Yeah, so this is one learning I had before. I'll get that story, but the more people is open to community to talk with other people and to like let's say follow the process of the community, which is connect with people, talk with people, build a relationship. Of course, we will connect people that make sense, and that's why also we then ask for a follow up to understand that did that connection make sense, yes or no, was that helpful in any way, because the people that were more open to that and that believed more in that, these are the people that have more results from within the community. Getting leads, getting clients, getting partnerships, getting everything, because this is the place. And the people that wants that joins the communities with that eager to have, oh, I need leads, and then a lot of times you're closing doors to good connections that can lead you to 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 have to achieve your objectives. And this is interesting because we're not saying that because yes, we just want you to have a good conversation with someone, but because we want to see people having success, people succeeding, people evolving in their lives. So I have one interesting story back then when I was leading payments for VTEX in Brazil. We had as partners, we knew that our clients, they were very, very fixed, and they were very, very open to read, and they got connected, and they wanted to test new partners when those partners had business cases. And I was always talking with the partners that I deal at the time. So write a business case, and they, a lot of them were always talking, oh, we need to send an email marketing, we need to say to make a campaign, we need to do this, to do that, to do this and that and that. And I said, okay, so let's build a business case, then we can advertise. And one partner got, okay, so I'll build a business case, we have a good business case, and etc. So he built a business case. He did exactly what we told him. Build a business case, we'll advertise that, we'll promote that. And then the business case, some weeks later, he got back, oh, that's amazing. We got basically 30 new clients from that business case. And I said, yeah. And he said, wow, that's amazing. And he said, yeah, because we're not asking you guys to do that because we find it fun, but because we are here, we're on the side, and we're seeing what's happening. So but this is something that's not, we cannot create, we cannot build. This is not our case. This is your case, and um, this is also something for client, for our members, and the clients, the companies that wants to participate and to work with us within the community. So this is interesting, because when we have companies and people that understand the community environment, how to behave, how to interact, and are open to that, we can see that they have results faster, I would say.
Awesome, man. I'm trying to invite people to join us. Not sure if they want,
Yeah,
but we always encourage them to join us
let's see.
on stage. And it's just saying that today it's we are speaking here, but last week we had Dave Morrissey, former head of fashion and lifestyle at TikTok. So every week we have someone really cool. This week you have us, and we encourage our members to join us on stage, to ask questions, and really to share. If you don't have a question, you can always share your perspective on what you've seen
Yeah,
in your life and business. Because it's for us, it's also very interesting to know and hear what you where you're coming from, so we can share, and that would be great. So, is there anyone there, Gustavo, interested in joining us? Come on, man.
uh,
You're from Lara, Kamal. Are they all shy today?
asking. Let's see. Uh, yeah, I'm sending you guys here to join. So
Perfect.
yeah, it would be
All right.
great to have more people talking. Maybe a lot. I'm trying to.
Yeah,
Let's see.
sure. But in the meantime, if we don't have anyone, I think the other thing we can also talk about is, so we discovered how to productize our community and where people would see values, right? The things that they saw value in. So, for example, matchmaking is something we offer today in the private community. So minimum of 12 introductions, connections, always with a context. And I'll explain what we're doing in the back end. We're investing also in on our own agent and understanding how to know more about our community. But that's something we are investing in the back end of Evolve. But we have the matchmaking, we have the expert session now, that we use that as a digital stage for our members, promote it, create snippets, send it over. We have events, right, Gustavo, and partnerships. So, for example, we closed a partnership with Ecom Berlin that has been announced, so I can talk about it. And in this specific events or meetups, we invite our members to join. We're going to release the calendar for 2026, but these are benefits that we have today. And we have a session a month, as I said, right, where we are gathering our members from all over the world. We're connecting them, and we run a session where things are not recorded, and people are sharing their pains and their challenges and learnings, and we're doing this together. We're growing together, right? So those are things that we have done this year, and we see incredible results. I'd say we have so many stories. Like Maisa today is working with Damian in Poland. Rodrigo Seron yesterday, met the folks from Braze. Raquel might work with them there. I mean, Rafael Barini he had a case as well. I don't know. There are so many cases. Yesterday,
Yeah. Dave was at a bar with Matt from CNT. We had Dave we had an expert session with him last week. And yes, we have Michaela with Sarah in Dubai as well. And a lot of others that we that we even don't know. And this is also something that's quite interesting. Right before, Kamal was saying that he was invited to go to Brazil by another member from the community that we had no idea that they had any type of contact. So this is something that happens when we are in a community with people that make sense, and that's our main objective, I think.
Mhm.
Connect people. Yes.
Yeah, I think Lara is making a few remarks here. She's saying it's not sure. Yeah, I'm gonna show it on stage, but just a comment. I know how hard it can be to build and manage a community. It takes a lot of energy and personal commitment with the project. And this session is also very important because people who join a community must know that it's not only about receiving but giving back too. Completely agree, Lana. That's the thing. I mean, and Alexis was in the session. She had to leave, but she asked us, "How do you guys manage so many time zones?" I mean, we this morning, 6 in the morning, I was responding to someone in Dubai. You know, so it
Turkey.
is hard work, but
Turkey.
we
He's in Turkey.
yeah, it isn't exactly. It's about giving back. So it's giving back all the time, but also having boundaries. I think it's like having understanding who are you building for, what you're building, and who are you building for, and also I'd say I saw someone saying something about a community. Gina Bianchini is one of I'd say it's a mentor, digital mentor I've adopted because what she talked about people in transition is very powerful. People in transition. So I took that from her. She's the founder of Mighty Networks. That tip came from her. She also talked about, you don't want to have a community that is full of rules. So it's like going to a party, and if you go to this party and it's everyone stiff because you can't do this and you can't do that, then people don't know how to behave. So it's better to have kind of like an open community. You need to have to set the boundaries, to set the rules you want, but you don't want to be that stiff. So I think what we see in the community is we don't try to be full of regulations and rules, but when we see something that it's not in accordance to our, let's say, our set of values, like you're not just going to be pitching here. We go on on a one-to-one basis and talk to the person and then say, hey, maybe this, you didn't mean to post it like this, and so on. And it's really learning on the go, but also you want to have people comfortable there, right? Not stiff and tense and all. Um, yeah. How about you, Gustavo? Thoughts on?
Uh, no, yes, I feel the same as share the same. We need to have some minor rules, and this is also something that was that is very that with time has shown very important for us, which are these the calls that we do. So like let's say the vetting calls that we do, because within that call we can also feel the profile of the person, so uh, we can set the tone with the person, so we can say, okay, so if we feel that the person is uh, much is looking for leads only, we can say, okay, this is not the place only for leads, if that's the only thing that you need. If we feel that the person is more is going to join the community and start repeating every single day and etc., then we can talk about that. So that for that call is like it's more like a cultural fit, let's say, for us within the community. So we can talk to everyone. We can explain, we can understand, and it will always be a different conversation because people are different. And and that's also something that was very valuable for us. And this is something that we don't yeah, I forgot the expression. I almost said I only know it in Portuguese. We don't no
What do
abrir
you mean?
mão, how do they say that?
Take for granted. Take for granted.
Yeah. We always have that. So yes, that's I agree. So
Mhm.
well, but let's talk about some good points that we had this year, and some also good learning. So I would like to, just so we can point around some things. So finding good people that are more connected, that are more finding good people. These were always this will always be the big major thing that we can do, and that we need to pursue. But finding a framework of private dinners, of events that we did, like we did in Sao Paulo, like we did then after in London, and events like this will do more next year. And also finding some local voices. So we started to find some local voices, let's say. So people that are connected, understand what we do, and that we can collaborate with them in different markets. So what can you what can we say about that, Carlos?
Yeah, I would say that okay, talking about the formats, I think what we discovered, and that is that has a direct correlation with our audience and how we want the world to be. So whenever we have the private club, that's number one. The private club runs, it's working, people see value. Then companies are started approaching us. But how could we be different? How could we differentiate? So whenever we do an event, we don't want to just do an event where a vendor goes out there and just does another pitch. Just like we have our community and you're not here to pitch, as we are saying, I think we have to be coherent, right? So what we are doing in our events is vendors are very welcome to sponsor the event, but they're not very welcome to pitch at the event. And we are clear. So one of the formats is we have our members joining the stage to talk about their career. So, for example, in São Paulo, Brazil. We hosted an event. We had 3 or 4 quite relevant sponsors, including PagBank, which is a very large financial institution. And what we've done to for them was to say, okay, guys, you're not speaking, you're not pitching, but we marked the tables, so they were sitting with people that they could create business opportunities or partnerships. We had an alignment before, and on stage we presented Evolve briefly, and we had a panel with Flavio Dias. Flavio Dias is the former president of Walmart, and now he's a board member, senior advisor. So he's pretty much sitting on boards, and he created an ecosystem around his personal brand, where he's monetizing his time as a board member, as a senior advisor, also as a mentor of sorts. And he was talking about his career transition, and that is very interesting because you're actually joining an event to learn something. You're not just the product, because what typically happens is you join an event and you become the product. You're offered some gin and tonic, some wine and bullshit, and there you're gonna hear a pitch, and we don't want to be like that, So at our events, we have that very clear. We're thinking of another format where you're welcome to pitch, but that's something else. Our main dinners, they're not massive dinners. Therefore, in Brazil was a bit larger. I think we had around 50 people, right, Gustavo? But in London, around 25, which I think Kamal was there. It's actually the sweet spot, 25, 30 people, because you can create intimacy, right? And so in these rooms, in these dinners, we are inviting a member. In London, we have invited Angela Cretu, former CEO of Avon, and she was talking about her career and the conversations really, it was a lot about the conversations in the boardroom around conversational commerce, around live commerce, and some of the what she's done, what she did to negotiate with the board, and so on. So it was very interesting, quite intimate, and she spoke about things that you don't necessarily hear in open forums, because open forums, it's more like a PR stunt. So that's how we differentiate. We are creating a safe space where senior people, they can share their learnings, their challenges, and of course create business opportunities, right? So I'd say from the company side, that's also the learning that we had, and we started doing more of this year. So we've done dinners, we've done meetups, and that's something we're going to double down next year. The meetups, and to follow the meetups, we will need chapter and chapter leads. So we're looking at structuring. We're not going to be all over the world in 2026, but we're going to be in the countries where we see most traction, if you like, from an Evolve standpoint, right? And where we have seen members actually self-organizing. So, for example, we had an amazing meetup in Dubai where people gathered around GuideTex, which is an important event that happened in Dubai in early October, and our members, they managed to get together and to meet at a partner office there from one of our private members. So meetups definitely is something we're gonna do more of next year in markets where which are key for Evolve. Dinners, and keep on doubling down on the private club, which is it's awesome, and it's actually quite rewarding. I think that's the word, to see that people in the private club, they have results, meaning network acceleration and really results. They have they're growing, and they share with us. Like Alexis shared an amazing story. One day she can share that hopefully in public, but a conversation she had with Vini and things like that.
Yeah, amazing. So, well, let's start to wrap up our conversation. We're getting close to 1 hour. So yeah, so if you could, what's one thing that you what's one thing that you want from now, but for evolve in the next year
Well,
or next
what
years?
what I want for Evolve for the next years. Man, I think
Yeah, you can share one thing. So that's one thing.
yeah. um I think I don't want us one thing maybe one thing I don't want it to happen. I think that's powerful. It's to lose the passion that we have and the purpose, you know. So the North Star, let's put it this way, that we were working on at the start of this week. We were working on, what is our what are we building really here, and what's the so no desperation. Keep on building what we're building with passion. Keep on bringing amazing people, and build something uh, for the future that is solid. So not in a hurry. Keep building what we're building. So I want us to keep our our sense of purpose. That's what I wish for Evolve, and so not to lose that sense of purpose, of the way we're doing this. We have our debates, but I think it's for the greater good in the end, always. So we have a very strong alignment on and values, right? And that's what I wish, that our values stay strong, and yeah, like we keep building what we're building, because I think it's phenomenal. It's amazing.
Great, great, great. Yes, amazing. Yes. And as I as I like to say, fast is different than hurry. So we can go fast, but we don't want to go on a hurry. And yeah, excellent. So I think yes, this is what we wanted to share from this expert session.
Brilliant.
Yes.
No
So
questions. I don't think we have more questions today, but
yeah,
you're
I
always
think
very
we will.
welcome to ask us question within our WhatsApp group as well. And that was it for the day, everyone. So Gustavo, thanks very much, man,
Yeah,
for the
thank you.
session. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
amazing.
everyone, thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye bye.